As we look across the landscape of transformation, we as a ministry must be able to deliver the services to our stakeholders. And so ESTP is helping us, aligning us towards giving that service. And we just want to be grateful for what has been done and also to give the commitment that we are going to be improving on it.
To be so aligned and to be improving upon the delivery of service means a closer look at the modernization of the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information and its management of the education system.
Government's interpretation of modernization is to separate policy from operations, because what you will implement is policy and you will monitor that and make sure it's going according to what you stated and therefore what you expect from it.
Through the modernization, the establishment of a central policy ministry that will just treat with policy-related issues and development, the separation of operations through the Department of School Services, and the establishment of entities, for example, the National Education Inspectorate, the National Education Trust, the National College for Educational Leadership, the Jamaica Tertiary Education Commission, and our other entities are fully up and running, fully structured to provide support for the education system.
And this allows for?
This allows for focus and effective coordination. So the Department of School Services, for example, will now be able to focus on the close to 1,000 schools that we have, working with the boards and the principals in supporting schools so that there can be improvement.
And what is also critical?
What is also very critical to support the structure is the provision of the kinds of materials and equipment, that documentation that would be required for the system. So, for example, the establishment of 63 quality education circles coupled with what we call resource centers that would have been provided with computers, internet access, printers, and other documentation where our teachers and our principals can go into these centers, they can access resources, they can receive guidance from resource persons within the region, will make a big difference.
Then there is the Planning and Development Division.
As the name suggests, we deal with planning that is like school location planning. And we also look at planning for the ministry in terms of our strategic planning process. That is our responsibility. We look at corporate planning, which we now call business planning. And we are also the data center. So we have like our census that we do annually, and that provides information on our schools, our students, general like national data, teachers, etc. We are also involved in program monitoring and evaluation. And so we monitor projects, the ministry's projects and programs. For example, the ESTP, the entire process monitoring and so on, that is done within the program monitoring and evaluation unit.
Importantly, the Jamaica Archives and Records Department is being transformed by the ministry.
The Ministry of Education now leads the process to look at transforming JARD, moving it from just being an archive of government records to become a national archive. The National Archive then will speak to how information is acquired. So we won't only acquire government records, but we will acquire private holdings, relevant historical documentation, and we will have that interaction locally and abroad to encourage more users.
ESTP Program Director Jean Hastings again takes the chair for a word on the Program Management Accountability System.
Within the ministry is a performance management accountability system. It's not to take away the increment, it's to ensure that you come to work to deliver, and that if you deliver, you're rewarded. But you don't expect to be rewarded if you don't deliver. That's what the performance management accountability system is all about. Ensuring that targets given to individuals, which is part of a whole big plan, is actually being carried through.
Coming, interestingly, and to be carried through is the unique identifier.
Every child will have a number, and that number, once the national identification system kicks in, the system that's been created on the enterprise school management system will be compatible enough to switch over once every Jamaican has their own unique identification number.
If even having the same name, no one will have the same number. And if she is placed back in class, you would be able to better assess the following.
Where are my interests? How do you help me to develop my individualized learning plan? How do you help me to write my career development plan?
Better management of our education system indeed. It's transformation. We'll be back with the ministry's important youth portfolio and more.